So, what is LTL freight shipping? So, essentially, by definition, it's a less than truckload freight shipping, and it's used for the transportation of small freight or when the freight doesn't require the use of an entire trailer. Now, this shipping method can be used when freight weighs pretty much anywhere between 150 and 15,000 pounds. And when shipping LTL, the shipper pays for the portion of the standard truck trailer that their freight occupies. And so while other shippers and their shipments fill the unoccupied space, there's a number of benefits to shipping via LTL. So some of these benefits would be reduces the cost. So when you book an LTL shipment, you're only paying for the portion of the trailer, and you don't have to worry about the rest of the trailer because that's covered by the cost of the other LTL shipments that are moving on the same trailer. And it also increases the security of the shipment. So most LTL shipments, they're packaged onto pallets before they're even put onto a truck, and when they're well packaged, they have a better chance of being secure through the entire shipment, and with the other multiple smaller packages that are moving as well. And another thing is it's just an additional service option. So when you're shipping LTL, you definitely have access to like lift gates and pickup, inside pickup and delivery as well. And in addition to this, there's also, relatively okay tracking on these shipments. So LTL carriers, they often have good visibility, either through searching on their website for the pro number or bill of lading number, and or the reference number, whatever the case may be. And you can even go through it. Let's say you have multiple shipments, you can search by date or name or the range of date that the pickup has occurred, and you can definitely track it that way. So the visibility is pretty good on these. And so also it's just a more cost-effective way for specific shipments. It doesn't mean that all the time LTL is better or it's the best option. It all depends on when you need your freight there, how you want it there. It's going to depend on those factors, and also other factors that determine shipping rates for less than truckload LTL shipments. It would obviously be the location. So if it's outside of core areas, it's going to be a higher price. And also dimensions. So the dimensions and the weight of the shipment, they're determined, usually determined by a freight class. It will impact the rates that these shipments would go by. Another thing is the mode. So you can either do just standard LTL or expedited LTL. So with an expedited LTL shipment, obviously the cost is going to have it's going to be impacted. So you're going to have definitely higher costs for that. And another thing is the type. So if you're requiring it to have special handling or special equipment, it's definitely going to be a higher cost. So for example, frozen, chilled, perishables, fragile, hazmat, it's all going to affect the price of that LTL shipment. And like I said earlier, when should you choose LTL shipment? Well, you should definitely choose it if you're shipping 15,000 or less pounds, and if that's how much of the trailer that you require, and the pallets are standard size or smaller, then definitely LTL would be a good option, and it would be a good way to increase your cost savings or maximize cost savings. And another thing that is good to know about LTL, it's the dimensions, the documentation, the packaging, and the labeling. So for the dimensions, when you're measuring for the shipment, to get the most accurate fees, so that way you don't get added or adjusted fees, is to round up to the next inch when you're measuring the length, width, and height of the pallet or the shipment, however you package it. So accurate dimensions, they're pretty much really critical to getting you the absolute best price for your shipment. If you're not giving accurate details, the shipment will still be picked up, but you're going to be charged more, and you're going to get maybe these so-called hidden fees. So the best way to avoid it is just rounding up those inches to get the right cost. So don't add 10 inches, but I mean, you just to the next closest inch, round it up just to avoid any surprises, because they will come, you know, whether you give them the 0.6 inch measurement or the full inch measurement, you're going to get those added costs for the difference that you're rounding down at. Another thing definitely is the documentation. So the bill of lading should definitely be filled out completely, and you have to give that to the pickup carrier that's coming in. And also it's almost like a confirmation that the goods are being taken by the carrier, and it's a receipt that they definitely will be shipped. Another thing is the packaging and labeling, like I just mentioned. So if you load goods onto pallets, you have to make sure you condense and protect the shipment. So really heavy pieces or items should be placed on the bottom of the pallets, or skids or crates, whatever you want to call them, that you're shipping your freight on. And it should definitely be placed, labels should be placed on the sides of these boxes. So that's with the package, just to make it, this is pretty much like the preparation for LTL, how to properly do it. And also some other stuff, like I earlier said about expedited, it's essentially when you need your goods to arrive more quickly or faster than standard transit times would allow. So you would request, you know, expedited freight quotes or expedited shipments. So like that's my bread and butter. Like that's what I'm really good at, is getting you an option within minutes and getting a truck in to pick up as soon as humanly possible. And so definitely, you know, LTL is funny when you say, you know, LTL expedited, it's like, okay, this is counterintuitive, but it's just an added fee. That it's, you know, it's an added fee to get that service, that, you know, to get it delivered faster than a regular standard transit time LTL shipment would go. And also some other services are lift gates. So they're used when, you know, freight exceeds 100 pounds, like one item exceeds 100 pounds, and then the receiving location, like for example, they don't have a dock for the shipment. For it to be moved off of the truck, you would need a lift gate to you know, boom, 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 boom. Also limited access. So what I mean by that, it's service, like it's a service that's required for deliveries that's heading to locations that have no access or limited access for carriers, like really like elevated or leveled construction sites, farms, sometimes like rural locations, strip malls, or sites of, you know, in natural habitats might be really difficult to get stuff delivered there. So the limited access, it's a service that can be requested where essentially a fee is added and then magic happens and it delivers. And also inside pickup and delivery, it's if the carrier needs to enter a building to get the actual freight to be loaded onto their truck. And you would have to request the service definitely from the LTL carrier that would be doing this. So in essence, you know, what's the difference between LTL and FTL? Well, freight that does not require the entire space of a truck is LTL, whereas full truckload shipments take up the entire space and weight limit of an entire trailer. So that's the really easy, simple difference between LTL and FTL. Also, I get questions like, should I ship LTL or should I go parcel? So if you're shipping over 150 pounds, definitely should consider LTL. Shipping LTL with a provider can mean like better rates, and also you can get better advice. So there it is, and if you have any questions, let me know. Cheers.